Craziness never ends. Welcome to the Reforger Report. We're going to be focusing on your comments about our last video. If you missed it, click on the channel, watch it. It's the last one that was out, 1.5 leaks. Let's dive into it. The Corner Kid, how are you doing, mate? Welcome, happy Friday. We're going to be talking about what you think the 1.5 leaks could potentially mean for the next update. And the next 1.5 update is going to be absolutely humongous. But we're going to dive in with Darth Gonk, great name by the way. Darth Gonk said, I think what they mean by disassembling of turrets, remember that was the leaked file, disassembly of turrets, is that you can take the gun apart and take it with you and assemble it somewhere else without requiring a construction truck to make the turret emplacement. Think of it as a heavy machine team. You have 3 guys, 1 carries the gun, 2 carry the tripod, or number 2 carries the tripod, and number 3 carries the ammo. I think that's a very interesting take, and remember, with all these points and speculations, please put what you think down on this video. This will be separate from the live stream. If you want to join the live streams, we get involved in this incredible server, which you can see behind us, spectate the players, the tactics, and more. But back to 1.5 leaks. So it sounds a little complicated to me personally, disassembling the turrets and then having a 3-man squad to carry all the different parts. Is it cool? Yes. Do you know why? Because teamwork makes the dream work. I had to say it, I'm sorry. But if you can get more of that teamwork, then your experience is just elevated to the next level. So would I like to see that? I would. Would I have some struggles in any official servers trying to get people to work with me? Maybe. It's an interesting concept. What do you think? Dodger. To me, the vehicle salvage, that was another leak, vehicle salvage sounds like you might be able to scrap destroyed vehicles. I think this is a good idea for the fact that having the vehicle entities on a map actually takes some of the server power. You know, if you've run a server before, you see all the excess destroyed vehicles, you do a server wipe and the FPS will improve for the majority of the players. So if you're able to scrap or salvage vehicles which have been destroyed for maybe half the supplies or maybe even less than that, I think this is a good idea. It'll help server performance, and supplies are always, well, they're the only currency you really have. And this links in beautifully with Scarcity. Now this, I think, is the one that's got the most people confused. Hello to everyone joining me. Hope you've had a fantastic week. Skull, happy Friday. Most likely the barrel, because the 50 cows have a removable barrel. I like that, good comment. Most large guns at least. Yeah, agreed. So the next one is Scarcity. Big, and a lot of comments on the last video regarding this. I'm going to put a link to the video right now. IBR, great to see you. Happy Friday. The link is in the chat. I'll put it in the description as well. Welcome to the Reforger Report. I love doing this. I do. I love speaking everything Arma. Did you all see the Battlefield single player trailer? What do we think? I think 2 things. 1, Call of Duty lost its identity. Battlefield found it and improved it. You know, Call of Duty's lost its identity. What the hell is Call of Duty these days? Hey, I loved it. I played back since Call of Duty 4, the OG. World at War, what a game. Getting absolutely mauled to death by dogs. The kill streaks. Simplicity. That's what we need. Simplicity. Say it again. Simplicity. But we're talking about Scarcity. Scarcity shut down the power to a supply point. It stops spawning supplies, says Philip. Okay. I mean, that is simple. Simple explanation. And I personally like that idea. Gives you more to fight after. You need supplies with everything you do. At the moment, you have a radio connection. You generate supplies. Can you disrupt that? Let's find out. Now, just below, we had Thaldrin, the alchemist. Now, at the end of this video, which I'm referring to, I said, Arma Reforger, I love you. I really do. You know, for many of us, I'm not going to speak on your behalf. Let me know what you feel. Arma Reforger saved me from Call of Duty. And when I say saved, I mean I was in this toxic cycle of playing and playing and playing, and I just felt like I was being manipulated. Some games I'd have, again, I've got a really good internet. I've got, you know, who doesn't in this day and age? I'm blessed with the technology, the internet. I would drive myself mad on my PlayStation doing the DNS, doing, I got a special router so I could geofence, so I could only play UK servers, because my ping was going so high. And then some games would feel great. The first game of the day on Warzone, I'd win. I'd so many kills, beautiful. Every game after that, it just felt like my bullets were doing half the damage. I started going crazy. Am I a conspiracist? Maybe. Anyway, Arma Reforger came in, and it was just so much more than a video game. I mean, look, Call of Duty, unless I had a tight knit of friends I already played with, you know, I might go in and meet some really cool people, 1 in every 20 games, and we might then form, you know, I've met plenty of PlayStation friends doing that. Arma Reforger, I came in, and I was pretty scared, right? Xbox and PC had the game for ages, and I could see online people were worried about PlayStation players coming on, affecting the game. And I joined an official server, and you know, I didn't know what I was doing, quite frankly. I skipped the tutorial, because tutorials are for cheaters. Who does tutorials these days? And let's actually spectate someone other than a butch right now. You know what? And everyone was so welcoming. It might have just been me, my first experience. But there was so much to learn, and I wasn't afraid to ask questions. I joined Discords. We're going to jump on board with Salvage, who's going on the attack right now. Let's just make sure we are linked. There we are. So you can spectate Salvage on the attack against NATO. And I had the best time. You know, it really was a breath of fresh air, and there's so much to learn. Like, if I just go now, 695 hours since December. Have I got a problem? I have. Arma, you're to blame for that. It's a happy problem. Oh, we can see Salvage going in now. But it was completely different. There's so much to learn. I think there's a much maturer audience. And that's where I feel Call of Duty have... And again, I know you guys are hating me for comparing to Call of Duty, because they are worlds apart. But Call of Duty was this simple, you know... again, it always been a bit of an arcade, but it was this simple warfare. You know, you wanted to get stuck in modern warfare, great stories, and then just simplified it. You don't worry about your ammo types, you know, supplies, the economics of it. It was a simple war game for maybe simple people. Arma Reforger expands into a world of just beautifulness. I'm spiraling. I do apologise. Arma just gets me goddamn emotional. IBR agreed, COD isn't what it was. Yeah, unfortunate. It's been the most welcoming gaming community I've ever experienced. Agent J, we're all in that together, so glad. Yeah, glad you've had the same experience. So, Foldrin, the alchemist, that's where it all started. He said, yeah, we love you too. At the end of the video, I said, Arma, we love you. He's replied, we love you too. Is Foldrin someone from Arma? Can anyone confirm? He goes on to say, here is extra hints. So this is why I think, Tholdrin, we're on to you, buddy. There is more than one new objective. Now, does the one new objective mean more than one way to win? Or just more than one way to, main way to get the wins or play the game? I mean, it's an objective, right? It's not a win condition. Yeah, so that was the first hint. Again, link to the videos in the chat. FIA is no longer just an RPG behind every blade of grass. Music to my ears. Holdrin, thank you. I'd love to have anyone from Arma join me in a bit of a this kind of style video. You know, bit of a back and forth, bit of a chat. I'd love to know Personally, I find it so interesting how you get into the industry. I'm at Gamescom next month as well. Anyone watching this, if you're at Gamescom, would love to chat to you about the industry. I've always wanted to be a part of it. That's what Thaldrin had to say. The next one, Ant said, your whiskey looks like apple juice. I guess it does. I guess it does. I've got nothing to say there. It does. It's definitely whiskey. Whiskey Wednesdays, we take it religiously. It's serious. Woo-hoo! And we go on to the next one, Trash. He says, I bet you can dismantle turrets on enemy vehicles. Interesting. I think the whole concept of dismantling turrets is really good. Whether that's a nest you've built with a turret, to be able to take that off and place it somewhere else. Whether it's a vehicle, you know, you disable a vehicle and you go, we don't need the vehicle, but the machine gun would be really handy. I think that's a really cool idea. We've got Monkey Boy. Tell Smoke Dog, thanks for the report. Smokey, thank you so much for making me aware and sending over the info so we can make a beautiful video for you guys. Philip, salvage equals repair vehicles in the field from a wrecked vehicle. Interesting. So maybe with... No, to be fair, I don't agree with that, Philip. Because you have got your repair trucks. Salvage equals repair vehicles in the field from a wrecked vehicle. So maybe you park up next to a wrecked vehicle and then with a spanner, maybe the wrecked vehicle equals a certain amount of supplies and then you can fix up yours. I mean, actually, I was confused at first. That's not a bad idea. We should also have tow trucks, right? Tow trucks, anyone? Tow truck driver? Anyone in the chat? Come on, guys. Better than that. Now, this one, Penguin, this is the magic. And again, we're in this building right here. Is he still... Selleck is still in the building, by the way. Okay, we can see whereabouts is he attacking. He is attacking Colin, which is just south. But we can see Rabcore just above is under attack. Oh, let's just make sure we're going in the right direction. I think it's north we need to be heading to. I'm still very confused with this map. It's actually behind me. Okay, here we go. Is this it? No, we've actually... It's just like... Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. So this is the battle we've got on our hands right now. The Rutskis own the base, but look at the amount of NATO forces. We're going to jump on board Yodney here. Just as we finish the news segment. And when we go further on as well. So, Penguin said, supply scarcity likely has to do with unlimited or regenning supply caches on the coastal bases. So like your Lamentin, the Morton, Chotane, St. Philippe. St. Philippe at the bottom of the top. I think it's... might be at the top. Anyway, the coastal bases, they just you know, regen supplies. And they're big. Well, they then typically are your bases, which with the purple names, the main capture points because of the supplies and the size. So scarcity likely has to do with unlimited or regenning supply caches on the coastal bases and on the green FIA supply points. The main issue being unlimited supply equals unlimited spending. You see this all the time with the never-ending air assaults and giant overbuilt bases, agreed, and people just running supplies for rank. Supply should be the lifeblood of your team, not just a means to an end. We obviously don't know how in-depth scarcity will be, but I'm hoping that it goes further and the hidden supply stashes are expanded on or even randomized. Players could even build their own supply stashes, as there are plenty of unused assets for this. This could also lead into supply convoys and more in-depth ambushing, where attempting to disable supply trucks rather than straight killing them is the goal. The supplies they're holding would be too valuable unless your team has a serious surplus. Penguins, I would love to have you on the channel because I love your thought process. Saying that supplies are the blood of the team. You know, without it, again, you can't move forwards. There's no command trucks. There's no air assaults, vehicles, weaponry. And by limiting it, everything becomes so much more valuable. And supplies should be preserved at all costs. We've actually done, one of my favorite streams was a vanilla stream before mods were introduced. Bagari. The enemy had the base there, and I could see them running supplies, and I thought, it's all great destroying the trucks, you know, maybe cause a blockade, slow it down. But we wanted to capture the supplies, knowing that they had just filled the truck up. So we waited until they'd done that, they'd done all the heavy lifting, killed the driver, ran, took the truck, disappeared. I think in some cases we dumped the trucks in the river just to be a nuisance, just to watch the world burn like the Joker. So Penguin, I love that. I think it would definitely be a big change for the mass community of Arma Reforger players, but an interesting one at that. Drowsy, we all know and love Drowsy, said supply scarcity could be reduced amounts of hidden supplies. Could be. It's a big... I don't like the word. It's a very scary word to me because I feel like it's going to drastically change the game. And then Cerberus, last but not least, more mines. Yes, anti-personnel mines. They are on the way. Now I'm jumping back into the chat.